Welcome back, travelers, to your referral roadmap. This podcast is dedicated to helping you unleash your personal and business revenue potential by cultivating referral relationships. In this 10-part series, we're diving into the dynamic realm of target markets. We'll be exploring how understanding and effectively tapping into target markets can be a key driver of success, offering insights and strategies to master this essential aspect of business. Today, we are tapping into the goldmine of the target markets that you already have with our special guest, Heidi Rose of the Rose Team Homes, where she is where she is a broker and partner as a real estate professional with over $100 million sold. I know she has lots of nuggets of knowledge to share today, so can't wait to see where the conversation goes. But before we jump into that interview portion, Athena, I believe you had a story to share with us. Is that right?
I know. Hey, you guys. So I'm going to keep the story short today because I'm so excited for our listeners to hear from Heidi Rose. Wealth of knowledge. If you are on a treadmill going in your car, you're going to want to come back and save this session because she is going to give you nuggets you're going to want to take notes on. So really excited about that. Before we do that, though, I do want to tell you a story. So for years now, have had the privilege of speaking in front of crowds and talking to business owners, entrepreneurs, real estate agents, you name it. And one of the things we talk about is, where do we get leads from? Where are our leads? Where are we getting them from? How do we get more leads? I want to really, today is about how we keep it simple. And there's 3 places that you can get leads right now, and they're part of your target market. And some of you are going to be going, duh, Athena, and some of you, it's going to be the light bulb moment. So let me just say this. Once I tell you this, if you say, duh, Athena, then I'm going to have a follow-up question for you. And that is, are you doing something about it? So let's just dig into this for a second. So here are 3 areas right now that you can get leads. 1, your past clients, which is why we have Heidi Rose here. She's going to go into depth, but your past clients. 2, your referral partnerships. What is that? A referral partner is anyone who has trusted you enough or your business enough to give you a lead, right? So on further podcasts, we'll go really into depth in that, but good high level there. And 3rd, those clients that are in your sales funnel that are maybe 90 days out or further. Statistically speaking, in sales, no matter what the industry, we as sales professional, this makes me cringe, we don't follow up with leads more than twice. 80% of us, you guys. Wow. All right. So what that tells you is this is enormous opportunity. This is why I want you to take notes today as Heidi and I discover some of her secrets, is because we're dying for leads. We're paying for leads. We're paying for advertising. We're paying for marketing. But what are you doing with these 3 things? It's really essential that you think about that. So think about that while we wait for Jay to hear. Before we get the goods on with Heidi, she's going to give us the facts, science, and details. We have followers. We know who you are, that you want the details. And so we're going to make sure we get those to you first, and then we're going to get to Heidi Rose.
Thank you, Athena. I know there are some other statistic gurus out there. I'm a statistic girly myself, so I will go ahead and just read them straight from there so that I do not mess them up. The NAR, so the National Association of Realtors, says that 91% of all realtors never contact the buyer or seller of a home after closing.
Okay.
Heidi, would you agree with that?
What?
I know, I got to stop there.
I mean, I find it like crazy because I can't even think about not doing that. So, but yeah, and I'm glad that they don't, because then I still swoop in on it.
There you go.
I'm like, mind blow. Okay, keep going.
I know, I had to stop there. I got to get Heidi's intel. Okay, so the next one, the probability of selling to an existing customer is between 60 and 70%. The probability of selling to a new customer is only between 5 to 20%. And acquiring new customers is 5 times more expensive than retaining your existing customers. So when asked in a survey about customer loyalty, 74% of respondents said it's about feeling appreciated and understood rather than receiving special offers. And 64% also mentioned that they're willing to spend more on a brand that remembers them and offers a personalized experience. So now that we have those facts, I try to keep it super brief for you all today. Heidi, can you explain a little bit about how you got into real estate, where you're at in your business, just some of your background before Athena jumps into the interview portion?
Sure. I'm a real estate brat. My mom was a realtor, and she started real estate when I was, I think, a freshman in high school. And she was the condo queen in a ski resort town. So I was introduced to it and said, I will never sell real estate.
Funny how that works out.
Then fast forward now, I got my real estate license in 2000. So I've been doing it for 24 years now, and have gone the full circle from being a single agent by myself to being a part of a team to then going back and running my own team to managing a brokerage to then going independent and then running my own small home family team and brokerage.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Heidi. I will pass it on over to Athena to actually ask you the fun, juicy questions for the interview portion.
Well, I am so excited, Heidi, to have you here. Quick little fun story, you guys. So about 13 years ago, Athena started working for a home builder, and the home builder did not teach me how to do a contract, fill out a contract. Heidi Rose was the very first agent where we were doing a transaction together, and she had the humility, kindness, and a heart to educate me on even how to fill out the paperwork. She did it without judgment. And so the reason I say that is, one, I think as we go through this interview, you're going to see it is through that type of character and attitude that has allowed her to be so successful. And that is definitely projected onto her clientele. So excited to get into this with you. But first of all, Heidi, my first question for you is, you are known throughout our community as somebody who absolutely has life with and has fun with their clients. What made you understand the importance of that?
I don't really know if I know what made me understand it, but I know there was at least a final trigger. And that was that everybody was buying leads. And really, to buy leads in order to make our business thrive past the levels that I wanted to be, it had to be a serious investment.
Mm-hmm.
And so I tried it a little bit, and it just made me want to throw up, throwing money out. And then I went to an event, and they just talked about, referrals, working with your people. You have a huge amount of that. And I took that money and I was like, if I'm going to spend this money and basically, in my opinion, throw it out the window,
Mm-hmm.
I would rather do that with people I know, like, trust, people that. And I decided at that moment in time, I would never buy another lead again. And I turned my entire business model into changing that marketing into our clients and referral
Wow.
partners.
Wow. So listeners, you guys, let's give her a clap. Listeners, I just want to make sure you heard that. She, in an industry where you had to purchase leads, Heidi, you chose to take marketing dollars and put it back and invest in the people.
Right. I have a degree in marketing and advertising, so it always sat with me to talk to your client base. And so and I feel like nobody does that. I mean, we talk about that all the time in our business, and that, man, if we had some of the people that we do things with that did that back to us, I mean, plumbers, car people, all that stuff. To me, I'm like, I just want to do it for them so I could watch their business go.
You're like, listen, baby, listen to me. I love it. So so for those of our followers here, our listeners, they're listening and they're like, yeah, but Heidi, I've ignored them for a long time and I haven't called them, talked to them. What would you tell them about refocusing their efforts back on their clientele?
Get over yourself.
Okay.
And just like if you hadn't talked to a friend for a while, sometimes you can just pick up and end up where you were last. Or there's the apology letter, like, I'm so sorry that it's been a while since I've reached out to you. I want to do a better job, and then move on. Or just start doing it. I just started on some of my farms that we work. We just started. We introduced what we were doing and that we were going to do it and we were going to stay consistent, and we did. So I wouldn't get hung up on it. I'd just start doing it.
So my next question I really want to ask you here is, and understanding there will be other agents listening, so I hope you guys nationally can get some advice, but really for the client, Heidi, what is it that you do to make your past clients become raving fans? Because they are. I know Jada and we know they are. So how do you do that?
I don't think there's a magic sauce. I think it's just treating them the way you'd want to be treated. Always looking for, I will tell you, I have great business partners in my husband and daughter, and they're better at this than me. My daughter, who will go out with the buyers, she can hear little things that you say and she will remember them, from your dog's name to something you loved, and then give like a little and remembering it, and so that if she might show up with, one day you might have said your favorite thing at Starbucks is, because she always asks you, and she'll show up with your favorite Starbucks drink, or just reaching out, paying attention. On Facebook, I don't follow other realtors, I follow my clients.
Oh,
I want to know what they're doing, and I want to reach out to them and when something is happening in their life.
Okay, Jada, that's another mic drop moment there. I hope you all listen to that. I think we're going to need to get some music, Jada, for the mic drop moment. That was it. Boom. All right. And the thing that I heard, interesting that you said that, you and your team are above the curve. So all the statistics with Google and everything with AI coming out right now, they're talking about businesses that are going to thrive in the next 5 years, or businesses that personalize their business. So Heidi, sounds like you guys have figured this out a long time ago.
Kind of, yeah. I don't mean to say that, snobby, but it's actually not a hard thing to do. It's just a matter of doing it and setting it. It is work. It is. Every morning I spend at least 2 hours every morning making sure that I go through my database and I've touched them with birthday cards, anniversary card, home anniversary cards, baby gifts, things like that I've just seen that are coming, and just paying attention to what's going on and being a part of their life.
Oh, wow. I love that. Now, we would be remiss, because of how well we know you, without talking about, has the influence of Disney affected your business? Tell us about that.
A little bit. Yes. We're big Disney freaks around here, and we had our daughter signed up for the Disney College program, and now, as I told you, she's our buyer's agent, and we work a lot with Making Magic, and we've read a lot of their books on how to treat the customer, or what do they call them, Katie? The guests, and coming up with terms for people, and really paying attention to what hit me with them is they said, somebody can spend 2 hours in line and still go home and have had amazing time. And we all know the real estate transaction is tough, and sometimes there are things that, no matter how hard we try to make it go smooth, something happens that is out of our control. But if you stay with them and that they had a great experience, and we call it Disney Magic, that they will have hopefully a great experience, and they won't remember that part. They won't remember that 2 hours in line. Wow. But yes, Disney is very hard. Matter of fact, we're going to try to go back there to refresh the juices on how to treat people right.
I love it. I love it. Well, we have seen it. We've seen that Disney Magic. And for those of you who are listening, you may not see this, but so Heidi, tell us about the Great Pumpkin. Guys, this is something. Now, I will say, side note, I do tell people who are following me, don't be chintzy. Like, don't be cheeky. Don't try to do something that you're like, I'm going to go buy everybody pies and think that's going to get you leads. What Heidi is about to explain, what they do with this pumpkin event, we'll call it, is how you do it right. It's how you do it right. So explain your pumpkin extravaganza and why you do it.
So it's actually one of our number one reasons we hear from people, people we haven't heard, because there are people in our farms that we deliver these to. So it is basically a fall, like you said, event. It is a lot of work, and so I wouldn't take it on unless you're able to. I mean, we have to rent a truck, we have to rent a trailer, because there's 3 of us, it takes a lot of people. But it starts off with the hype of that the pumpkins are coming. We do it in the fall before most people get their pumpkins, and we hand deliver to, I think we're almost at 1,000 now homes, the pumpkin to them, and we send a text message with, we always send we learned that sending our pictures with us doing something silly or whatever just gets more attention than something branding. And this year we failed a little bit because I said, no, we got to ask for referrals. We got to put in there, send us a referral. That died. When we said, then Katie's like, no, let's go back to just being the nice approach. And we went back, and then it was shared on social media. It just like out of the park. And so sometimes we have to take my head of business out of it and remember that there are ways to do it, and you're still going to get business. But yeah, it takes us about 3 weeks to deliver all of those from all over the city. We'll do one neighborhood that we do as our farm. We do that all in one day, so that when we do it before the bus comes home, because the kids love us. And a short story, the kids love us so much. This year we had some kind of crappy neighbors that kids went out and smashed our pumpkins. And from what we heard on one street and threw them in the pond, just kids being kids. I'm telling you, that revolt of the neighbors getting so upset that others did that was probably better for me than I thought. I was upset, but then I was like, they got on it. And then I found out the kids went on the bus and basically started shaking down the other kids to turn on whoever did it. And I was like, it's done. It's great. And I got so much social media out of that and just conversations.
I love it.
I get pictures. That day, it warms our hearts so much because we'll get pictures all afternoon from people with their kids holding the pumpkin. And this year we got a picture. We've been doing it for over 12 years now, and we got one picture from a mom, and she sent us 12 years of pictures of her kid getting the pumpkin.
Wow.
And then the kids like, the Rose team are my realtors. Bringing them in young, guys. Bringing them in young.
I love that.
First of all, that story is amazing. And those of you who are in sales and marketing, nothing sells better than a child saying something like that about your brand. Beautiful marketing. That's marketing you can't pay for, by the way.
And those cost us about $1.20.
Well, per that pumpkin, right.
But I mean, that is a light touch. It costs 68 cents just to send a letter.
Well, there you go. Now, I will tell you this secretly. I look forward to my pumpkin. And I post that I got my pumpkin on social media. And if I didn't get a pumpkin, I would have FOMO.
Mm-hmm.
So
exactly. And that is something that we're aware of because that happened one year. And so you do have to be careful that you make sure you hit, if you've worked with different family members, that we hit them the same day. So it's a lot of work, but it is a lot of work. It was worth the payoff.
But the key there, I think, is you've made it something that you're known for, but it also is a direct correlation to your character as business leaders and the relationship that you create. So I want you to talk, we've been talking really right now to people trying to create a referral-based business. And I told you guys, this is the one you're going to definitely want to take notes. But let's switch for a second, Heidi. If you have somebody listening right now in the audience that could be a client of yours, so this is a national, international podcast, and you're in Oklahoma, but if somebody is like, man, I wish I had an agent like them, what would you say? How would they get a hold of you? How could you guys help a larger market?
Well, first of all, we can help you connect with other realtors throughout the country. So, for example, yes, that's very easy. Any realtor can do that, right? All I have to do is get on the internet, Google somebody. But we take it a step further, and Todd, my husband, he will actually interview, and we look for agents that are similar to us, that have a similar style. Now, it doesn't always match, but most of the time that's what we're looking for, is either a smaller team or a high producing agent, but somebody that is client based, meaning they're not just throwing Zillow lead people, whoever to call and burning and churning. We're looking for someone that's going to make a relationship, going to take care of them, and take care of them after the sale. Because guess what? If they come back, we want to know that they're coming back. And we want to have that relationship. And we want to be kept abreast of what's going on so that way we can, so that somebody that, if you talk to us and you're looking to make a move across country, give us a call. We'd be happy to talk to them, kind of interview them, give you choices. And we always want feedback back. Because if we want to know, were you happy? Did that work? Did that not work? Well, let's go find somebody else. Don't be stuck with that. You have choices.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I love that you have found a way to not only help your tribe here with your Disney magic approach, but nationally. And I had the experience this year of a friend of mine who's an agent in Arizona. She was like, I need an agent in this area, knowing her temperament. We got her connected with your team, and she sent me a gift thanking me that because of how well your team took care of her clients. So
that's awesome.
I win just by getting your acquaintance here. So this is good for me. But that's really, I wanted people to know that if you're like, man, I wish I had an agent like her, you can have an agent like her no matter where you're at in the United States. She can, her and her team can sprinkle their little fairy dust on you and help you nationally. So I think that's really important. But Heidi, going back to the people listening that are developing their business and they want a referral-based business, they feel overwhelmed. What's the piece of advice as the leader that you are, somebody with multiple decades now at a referral-based business? And let me make sure before you do that, you are 100% referral based. Am I right?
Referral based past client. Yes.
Yep. Referral based past client. Okay. So with that,
and our farm too.
Well, yeah, your farm, all of that I consider referrals because it's all you nurturing. So by the way, what she just said is what we talked about earlier: past clients, referral partners, and her farm. You guys, this is how you get leads. But to that person out there struggling right now, Heidi, what's the piece of advice you're going to give them?
Start small.
Okay.
Don't overwhelm yourself. Come up with a plan. Come up with your budget. But you've got to stay with it. If it's just one, just pick at one thing, master it, do the next thing. Don't try to do it all. Just, it took us a while before we got to the pumpkins and that expense. But there are other things that you can do. Mine first started out with mailings. Mailings to just specific people and stayed with that and then kept growing it and growing it. And right now, social media is great. That's free. As much as I hate it personally, I love it for business, because how else can you stay abreast of what's going on in somebody's life if they're on there than that? That's something we didn't have when I first started in real estate. So that's wonderful. So stay engaged and listen and start with little things like, what do you want to do? Choose it and make sure you start with a CRM. If you don't have a CRM, you're going to be shooting from the hip. I love my CRM. I breathe my CRM. I can't live without it. I think I'm addicted to it. But that is what tells me what to do and reminds me of when everything is. People say, how do you remember that all the time? My CRM. It's on my phone. It's on my computer. It's everywhere.
I love it. Well, thank you so much for being here. I'm so thankful that you have been on my journey and that I have been able to call you a friend, a confidant, and a referral partner. So thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And I'll just say thank you for the abundance attitude of sharing that, knowing that there are other agents listening. So very appreciative. But Jada, it's all on you. And where do we go from here?
All right. How do we stay connected? That's the big question. So how to get connected with Heidi and her team is I will link their Rose Team Homes website, their LinkedIn, and their Facebook. So lots of avenues to connect with them. But if you still are stumped, definitely reach out to Athena and I because we want to make sure you get connected with them. And then how to stay connected with Athena and I's team, you can join the Success Revolution. That is Athena's weekly blog. It's fueled by relationships, referral, and revenue, where you get those weekly growth strategies to take control of your sales, revenue, and achieve your full potential straight to your inbox. That'll be linked below, but otherwise, don't forget to like and subscribe below as we kind continue on in the season, and we will see you next week when Athena brings us real talk and real strategies on what makes people buy, unlocking customer behavior. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.